Hi y'all, this is Emmy with Rebel Knitter Podcast, episode 8, I think. It's been quite a while. I'm going to try to talk really fast so I can get all of this in because this is like the 5th time I've tried recording this. And the first time, no sound came. The second time, it only recorded half of what I was talking about. The third time, it just wouldn't show up on my computer. And so maybe this is the 4th time. So I'm going to try and talk as fast as possible because I changed cameras, and this camera only really records for a certain amount of time that I can never actually figure out, and then it cuts off. So sometimes it'll do 20 minutes, some 25. I got 40 minutes without it cutting off. But this is my nicer camera. It's just a lot older than my handheld that I've been using. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this, first of all, CineEmi on almost all platforms. On Etsy, I'm CineEmi Creations. That name may be changing, and the name of the podcast might be changing. One of my friends, for my shop, it might be changing due to certain things that I might be starting that I might need to change it for so people can find those. But for the podcast name, one of my friends says that, she tried to follow the hashtag that I've been using, but there are other people who use Rebel Knitter and their in their stuff, and that it's just really confusing. So it might change to go along with the other thing that my shop is changing to, or I could just do it. I'm also thinking of just changing it to CineEmi Knits or something like that. I haven't decided yet. It probably will be maybe by the 15th episode I will have decided, or something like that. In the next couple episodes, it'll be, I will have made a decision. You can't see my hand motions, really. I just realized that, but I've been doing hand motions because I talk with my hands. But I will have decided soon, but it's just, I tried figuring out a name for so long. I wanted it to represent something about me, and I come from Virginia, and I'm from Richmond, and that's where the capital. I'm a history buff, so it's not that I approve of the Civil War or anything. I just love history, and Richmond was the headquarters of the Confederacy, and since I was little, I just loved American history, colonial time. I love colonial times all the way up until the Civil War. After the Civil War, kind of bores me, but Civil War and before, I love. So Rebel Knitter, I was kind of one of the schools here is actually called the Rebels, and I was just their mascot and stuff, and I was just it suited, but some of my friends were they can't find it or just having problems with it. So I might change. But quickly, so what I'm going to do, instead of doing segmented things, I'm just kind of going to go, or I'm going to try not to do segmented things. I'm going to go what's been happening first, because in it explains some things like what I'm now knitting. And then I will do, or maybe in that I will do finished objects and works in progress and stuff. So basically, I had gotten and was planning, and I had planned to have one every week because the past couple I'd been missing a week in between, which I know people don't really mind because other people do that. It's just I kind of need it for me. If I miss a week, then it gets harder and harder to start back with a habit or something, anything. I'm just really hard at sticking to habits, so I need to do it, or I'm gonna forget, or I just feel I can just do it the next day. Which is one of the reasons why it's been really annoying me that I've been trying to get this video out, and something happens and it hasn't gotten out. If it happens again, I'm gonna be so angry because a lot of things that I've showed in the past 3 times I've tried to record this no longer can be shown because either I frogged them or I no longer have them, or it's just that I can't remember, and that's just, it happens. So, okay, so, I had talked about last episode that I was going to go to a Signature Needles trunk show, which I thought they were going to have a sale. They didn't have a sale, so I got the full price, just without shipping. But it turns out they were at the Flying Needles Retreat in Williamsburg, which was fun to go to. I love Williamsburg. It's like amazing. And they were like right at the hotel right next to Williamsburg, so you could see Williamsburg through the trees. So we went in and they had the marketplace open for people who weren't doing the retreat. And my mom and I, we drove down and we went in and we had a little sad note because a little backstory. My family, my grandfather is the eldest of 5 children. One of his younger 2 boys and 2 girls, and then him. And his younger brother Dan, or I think it's Dan. No, Dan's Mike's son. His younger brother Mike died a couple years ago, and that hit him really hard. And then his little sister Anne, she got diagnosed with cancer, and all last fall it was just really hard. And then really a couple days before Christmas, she died, and that it broke my grandfather. And a lot of other things happened, but it was really hard for him. He's about to turn 91. And so, like, he's getting up there in age, and it's just, it hit him hard. But the thing that happened that connects to all this is that in February, wow, it's been since March since I got a podcast up. In February, he got diagnosed with cancer, but they told him if he did medicine, he would have 2 more years. The end of, like, the weekend that we went to the Flying Needles retreat, it was a Saturday. We had just gotten into Williamsburg, and we were trying to find the Flying Needles shop, which is not where we were supposed to be going, but that's where it said on the Signature Needles thing that they were going to be at. And so we were almost there when we got a call that my grandfather's little brother, his last little brother, Uncle Pete, was in the hospital, and they didn't think he was gonna make it, but at the moment they didn't really want people to come, but just letting mainly my mom know, because she was the one that's gonna have to break the news to my grandparents. So yeah, it was kind of a bit of a downer. We were really upset, and Mom was like, well, we're here, we should go, but afterwards I really want to get home, and even though I can't do anything, I want to be there in case they need me. But we had been planning we were going to shop for Grandma's birthday afterwards and all this stuff, and I was like, we really should do all this stuff, but it ended up being we went home like right after we had lunch. But yeah, so we were trying to kind of go fast through the Flying Needles. My mom was like, I really want to get back, so I didn't get any yarn because I didn't have enough time to squish. So, and I was like, I didn't have a ton of money, so like I wanted to get a yarn that I absolutely loved and I knew I was going to use on a project. But the main reason I came there was for the needles, and I was like, I made a beeline straight for their thing, and I was like, I want the 2 sock needles, which was really stupid of me because I only use one size of sock needle, but for some odd reason I decided I want the second one. Instead I got 1 convertible and a cord to go with the convertible. Instead I should have gotten 2 convertibles because I love the convertible. It is amazing. It took me a little while to get used to because it is a little, it slows down my knitting a little bit, but that's not that bad because sometimes I go faster than my brain and hands should be going. I'm more of a slow knitter than a fast knitter, so it's like I tend to drop stitches a lot. But with the signatures, I haven't dropped a single needle. The only time I almost did was when I accidentally yanked while I was doing something, and one stitch came off the needle, and the only reason it wasn't more was because of the drag that it has on the needle. But it's not a bad drag; it's a nice drag, and I like the sharpness. I love the cord. But yeah, so. I was standing there getting ready to pay. My mom ended up paying because if you use card, then you didn't have to go to someone else, and I was going to do half on in cash, half on card, so I had cash to buy yarn. But we let some lady go before us because she was actually in the retreat, and they were about to start a class. And my mom, while we were waiting, looked over and saw a lady wearing the cardigan from Joji Locatelli. Quiet Stars, and this came out of that. She saw it and she just fell in love, and she's like, and she tugged on my shoulder and she's like, you need to knit me that. I will buy the yarn. I will, get everything you need. You need to knit me that. So we ended up, I told her, I was like, I don't know where to get the interpretations anywhere near us. I didn't know if Dancing with Wool or Flying Needle had it. I probably should have asked. I forgot to ask. It didn't occur to me at that time. And so like, she's like, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So I got the needles, and then, all I could think about after that was that cardigan. I was like really excited. I never knit a sweater or a cardigan before. So I was like really excited, and so we left. Mom, the only thing Mom got was soap. she loves soap. I don't know why. I don't think she's used it yet, but she loves soap. So like we went and we left and we had lunch, and then Mom told me that Mama wanted a cardigan too, but it was like a week before Mama's birthday and she didn't tell me, so like I couldn't make one in time. So we got in the car and came home, and I bought the stuff, I bought the magazine, or the interpretations. I love it. They actually have the second pair of needles that I need. I have actually in the place for it. I haven't been really using this, or I even got by myself from a store here that had it on sale because I couldn't find it on anywhere. But my favorite interpretations besides this one is number 3, which I found from the store that only had like 5 left, and by the time I actually purchased it, they only had 2 left. And they weren't going to get any more because I don't think they make number 3. Thing I love about that is Pom Pom always has the little codes at the back, and they, by the way, this is probably going to be all over the place. I probably should have mentioned that at the beginning. All over the place because I'm trying to remember things, and then it connects to other things. The back of the any Pom Pom related, this is Pom Pom Press, which is why I keep trying to want to call it Pom Pom Magazine. They have a little code that you can get stuff on Ravelry. So I can keep these all nice and pristine. I look through them when I am deciding what I want to knit, because I have plans to make something else that's in number 3 soon. But when I find the pattern I want, I just go on to Ravelry, and I have the thing, all of the stuff saved on my computer, but I have it on my computer because of Ravelry, because you can just download it from Ravelry too because of the code, and I can just print out the pages I need. And so those this is like my 3rd time I've printed out these. I have, because I'm keeping track of different things, and they get so folded and mangled that, I can just throw them away without, feeling bad, and just print out another one, whereas the book stays nice. Okay, so we went and we got home, and we bought the Pom Pom interpretations, and I had to wait for it to come. I was going to buy the yarn right away, but we couldn't decide because we didn't know what size Mom was going to be in the actual final one. So, because they had 2 yarn amounts. One was for the smallest size, and one was for the largest size, and Mom's falls somewhere closer to the smaller size, but more like a medium-ish. I'm not making her the medium one, but in the middle of all of them. And so I was like, I in the end I just decided I should have gone ahead, because we ended up getting the exact same amount of yarn that I had figured out that she might need. And ended up being, I think it's gonna be a lot less, a lot more than we need. So I might be able to make something else with it. But so we ended up doing that, and then I had finished during that week. I finished my test knit socks, and these are the Schrodinger socks. I do not like the toe. I should have made it longer, because it stops right as where my pinky toe is. So it's just weird. And I never knit toe up socks before, so I wasn't, didn't know what toe I would like. I have since found out I haven't actually knit the socks yet, but I've done figuring out how I like it. I've done the I like the moccasin toes. So for my next toe up sock, I'm going to do moccasin toes. So these, I love them. I have not sewn in the end yet, but I love them. I need to get a sock blocker at some point. And so that week I didn't post because on Monday Uncle Pete died, And then there was like a bunch of stuff, like Mom had to go and make sure Papa was okay and talk to them, and then family was coming in, and then I think the actual funeral, like where you had to go and see the family, was on Thursday, and then funeral was on Friday, and it's kind of like, just kind of everything was focused on that. And then the next week, it kind of hit everyone. Like, before then, it was just like, yeah, it happened, everyone's really sad, but it didn't really physically hit everyone until like the next week. I know some people it hit like that week, but it was just, it hit the next week, and everyone was all down, and I didn't really want to do a video where, like, I was like going from trying to be happy and normal to wanting to cry. And it's just, I just felt everyone was really off that week. And then Momo's birthday happened and all this stuff. And then as I was and then I started trying to do a podcast, and then things would happen. And then when I tried, it wouldn't work out. And then I'd try again and it wouldn't work out. And it'd be days, because I wouldn't really, when I recorded, it'd be a couple days later that I would be able to get around to editing it, and that's when I found out that the bad things had happened to the video. So yeah, things happen. So the next big thing knitting wise that happened was I probably should. Oh, and also other reasons why I held off is because I was waiting for things. Like, I wanted the yarn to come in. I got a bag for it from Pearl and Plum, and it's a really cute bag. I wanted something that was like this, where it was like a bucket type thing, but then it had like a drawstring so that I could close it. And then when that came in, and then my friend got me as a present, ever since I started in college, when I was crocheting and loom knitting and knitting, I would give her things that I didn't want to give my mom, or didn't really have anywhere to go. I just had made them because I liked the pattern. And I'd give them to her, and she'd keep them, or she would give them to her mother for presents and things, and I made a ton of stuff for her. So I had liked something on Etsy, and she saw it, and she decided to buy it for me. This is the one I'd liked a bunch of them, but it's from some company in Canada. I know that. I can't remember at the moment the exact company, but oh yeah, from the knitting retreat I also got Knit Jacks knit markers, Knitty Jacks. They're amazing. They're on my sweater, so you'll see them in a little while. But wow, the lighting's off. This is the only time I've had to record all day, because it's been pouring so loud. It sounded like my room was being attacked by wind. So this is the only time I've been able to do it where it had finally stopped raining and the lighting is really off. But this is the only room in the house that has the windows, so you get light in it at the moment, and the regular lights make everything look yellow. But yeah, so I'm using this as my sock, my two knitting socks. The reason she got me this one, the Nursery Rhymes one, I love. It has the cat playing the fiddle, woman in the shoe, and all that stuff. I just look at it sometimes, just trying to figure out, remembering the nursery rhymes. Is because we met at church in college, and every time the younger, the lady in charge of the preschool age, or the youngers and all the little tiny kids, she would have to run out for a little while, or if she was sick or something, they would ask us for volunteers, and we would always say yes, we want to, and we would read nursery rhymes to the tiny little people. And so she got this for me as kind of a memory of that. So that's kind of, really sweet. And I haven't really had time to knit on these, because they are on my new signature sock needles, but it's the first, I think, Winter Rose of the Curious Handmade Sock Society. You really can't see them because of the light. Nope. Still can't see them. There are pictures on Ravelry. So yeah, it's really cool. It's got a zipper thing in between, so I can put the yarn on one side and the knitting on the other, which I really like, because it keeps it from getting all mangled inside the bag, which is what usually happens. During that time, I also was working on, and wanted to finish before the next podcast, was This for my mother, which it's now been blocked. None of the other episodes had it been blocked. It was my mom's Mother's Day present, which was, I think I mentioned that, and I showed the Riddler yarn. This is the pattern that went with it, and I was gonna make it so that it could be sold on my Etsy shop, but you couldn't, which I found out is because it was for like donations and stuff. So you can still buy the yarn and make this pattern, and if you donate it, which I can't do this because I gave it to Mom for Mother's Day, you can give it to them, and you get put in this drawing for like a huge prize from Twisted Owl Fiber. And so this is what it looks like. Mine apparently is not too is not exact. I found out when I was folding it to give it to Mom that one side it's a lot bigger than the other side. Not sure how that happened. I thought I was, keeping track of everything. But this I made on my new signature convertible needles. They are awesome. The only thing is though, they twist instead of like a key thing that you have to twist. So I love that, like the way, like I don't need anything extra to put them on there, but like the way I knit, sometimes I twist while I'm knitting, and it sometimes will come undone, but now I figured out from using them a lot on knitting this is just at the end of each row, just give the one I'm about to knit with a little twist, like just twist, and haven't had a problem since then. Love this. The cord is amazing. I actually tried, in one of the episodes I had a hat that I had gotten the Knitters Pro Zings, and they were the size above this, like a 4.5, these are 4s, and I was doing a hat, like the 4 was the rib, which went really fast, and then the 4.5 was supposed to be the main body of the hat, but I just hated magically, like the actual needle didn't mind, it was a little bit too blunt for me, but it worked. But the cable, I just hated it so much. I was like, I just hated it. So yeah, that, alright, so then the next, thing, my mom, I don't have mine on right now, it's in the back room, but my mom started making, I do Portuguese knitting, and my mom started making Portuguese, knitting hooks, one for me, so that I didn't have to keep buying them, and 2 just because she needed something besides the necklaces that she's making. And these are the only 2 left out of the 4 she made for testers. So the white and the gold, yellowish ones. I made one and Mom made one, and I use both for sock knitting and one just for regular knitting. I love it. It's like got a nice weight to it, so like I don't forget that it's there. But it's not too much weight that if I just want to leave it on my shirt, that it annoys me. It doesn't. But it's just really nice. And every now and then it'll hit the light and it'll like sparkle. I just love that because these are real glass beads. Like my mom, we have the package that we're about to ship out. I was supposed to go out today, but because of the rain and stuff, I didn't feel right driving my new car. That it's not really new, but yeah, I've gotten a new car since we sold my old one, and my grandmother gave me hers because she can no longer drive. And I don't remember if that was in the last episode or not, because I don't think we'd had it then. But yeah, new car, and I, for the life of me, still times I don't feel safe driving in certain, it's a lot different than driving my Volkswagen Beetle. Alright, back on track. Big thing also that happened, first, probably should show the sweater. So again, this is the bag. It's got the cute little sheet that say things. Which weirdly enough, I found that one of the sheets has the exact instructions for how to wash it, like less than 30 degrees, and no ironing and stuff is on one of the sheets, and that's exactly what was on the side of this. So what I'm using, I have a lot of things in this bag. So we got 8 of these, but it's Holst Garn, super soft. It was like $3.50 for 314 yards, and that's like really cheap, but it's really nice. I mean, it's a little hard to work with, but my swatch that I do not have in here at the moment is like really soft and really nice. So we got 8 of these. We do not need all 8, so I'm probably gonna have a ton left over. I'm on the second ball, and I'm almost done with that one. And I think I got, which you can't really see in this, but these are Harry Potter stitch markers. There are some on the actual knitting, so I'll show those instead of just these. I put them in order of most liked to least liked. But yeah, so, and then the knitting jacks, ignore the buttons that are in here, but I got the Virginia Tech knitting jacks. The little stitch markers are on this. I love them. They're like really light and airy, so they're just like amazing. Okay, put that to the side and actually show the knitting. So of the second ball, this is all I have left. It's like the tiniest little amount. But, okay, let's see if I can do this without dropping anything. There was one try at doing the podcast where I almost had all of the stitches come off them because this is not the right length cord, but I got sent the wrong cord. And I just don't feel like going and buying another one because I actually could use the cord they sent me. It's just, it wasn't the one I wanted at the time. Alright, so this is the furthest I've been on any of the episodes I've tried to record. Because like the first time I'd only had the collar done, and then the second time I only had till the back, and then third I just done the increases for the arms, and now I have connected them, and it's actually getting quite long. Alright, so this is the front. This like goes around your neck, so like the neck would be right here, and it kind of bunches up and goes around, and my arms are in the armholes. And then this is the back. It took me a little while. I had like trouble with the like line thing that you make right there. It kind of confused me and stuff, and there's like a technique in here that I had to get a book to figure out how to do because I've never made sweaters or cardigans before. I didn't bring the book in here, but it's a Vogue book that's like tells you how to do like everything, and it's just amazing. But yeah, so this is how far I am on my mom's cardigan. Let's see. I'm gonna hold it up more time. Yeah, that works. Okay, so I've been working on this a lot until like 2 weeks ago. This was like almost the only thing I've been working on. But once I got into the round, because you have to keep track of like there's like a lace pattern and then something that's not a lace pattern, but it's just like a you still have to keep track of what you're doing on it. So like I'm keeping track of the lace, that pattern, the other pattern, and then now the increase pattern because I have to have a certain number of repeats of this thing before you increase again, or increase the first time and then increase again. So it's like I'm not exactly 100% sure if I'm correct in what I'm doing, but I am like 10 rows away from the next increase, so I think I'm doing it right. Oh yeah, so I mentioned I was going to show some of the stitch markers. Okay, no, not that side. I accidentally did this opposite, so I'm knitting it in the opposite direction of what it says, because I did, when I picked up stitches on the right side, because it said pick up stitches on the left, so I picked up stitches on what I was looking at the left. It wasn't, because I was looking from the front, so I picked up stitches from the front, left, it was the opposite where I was supposed to pick them up, so it's still exact same, it's just I'm going the opposite direction. So, yeah. Let's see, I started with this side. So, all of these are knit jacks, the tiny little ones. And then I have a little Harry Potter. And I have 4 of the Harry Potter stitch markers on here. I did them with, I did them like, there's Harry on this side, and then when you get to the back lace pattern, I put Neville, because I thought he went well with Harry. And then there are a bunch of these stitch markers that I needed a ton of stitch markers, but I didn't want to use my you know, commercially made one since I had all these nice ones. So I went to Hobby Lobby and bought a bunch of charms and kind of made them into stitch markers. So I've got like Robin Hood and Peter Pan and a bunch of like dragons. I can't, with the lighting, I don't think you can see all that well. There's like King Arthur, Beanstalk, Little Red Riding Hood. And then you get to this one. So like I did Harry Potter and Dobby was the two first ones I started with. So I wanted something that went with both of those. So on this side is the Dobby side. So with Dobby I put Draco Malfoy is the end of the lace repeat and starting of the other repeat. And then before you get to the shoulder front side, you have Dobby. And then these are just a bunch of weird charms that I made that just say weird sayings. So yeah, those are the charms that are on there, but they're like a ton. My mom said that she enjoyed looking at it because it looked pretty. So yeah, so I'm hoping to have that done before she finishes. She's retiring this year, so I want it finished before she ends school, because I told her she has to wear it one day at school, even if it has long sleeves. She is wearing it, and I don't care. She's gonna wear it and show it off. So then the last thing, because I'm almost done, we went to the Powhatan Fiber Festival, which I had been talking about before, that I was really excited for. I thought it was in February. It was not. It was like either April or, yeah, I think it was April, the end of April. And so I thought it was in like February or March or something like that. So we ended up, I watched a ton of how-to Rhinebeck videos, trying to figure out how to do just any fiber festivals, because some of them have really good tips. So basically, I was told to bring a regular bag. I got this thinking it was just like a reusable bag that didn't have any sayings on it because it was folded up at the time. I felt really bad that I had a Food Lion bag. But I brought this, and next time I'm just going to put my wallet in my bag and not bring my purse, because bringing my purse nearly killed me, because I had my purse and that bag, and trying to get into one or the other, it was really heavy and it was really hot. I ended up, because it was still kind of winterish the days before, so I didn't put on suntan lotion. Ended up getting burned all over. But like, so I had the bag and I had projects in mind. I went there and I was like, I want this. I want to get this stuff for this project, and if I can, stuff for these two projects. So my main project I was looking for, which is the first place we went to, is where we got them, is I mentioned before that I designed a shawl for my mom. It will be coming out for testers soon, so if you're watching this far, I'm going to be doing both a fingering weight and a DK weight. I'm knitting the fingering weight, but I need at least like 3 or 4 people to knit the DK weight so that I know like how big that's going to be. I know because I've done a swatch, I know what needle it's going to be with, but I just don't know how big it's going to be. But we went to, I was really excited when I was told they had fairy tale knits there, because I really wanted to do those. So I told Mom she had to pick out one yarn to represent the water, because she's going to spend a lot of time at the beach after she retires. So it's one's water is the theme of the yarn, and the other one is the waves. So I didn't want it to just be white, because the waves aren't exactly white, but I wanted it to go with the other one. So we ended up going Fairy Tale Knits in their Hippogriff Pride base, and this is called House Elf. Oh man, the lighting is so bad, because apparently the light's not coming in from behind me, so we're getting the weird yellowy stuff. So that's House Elf, which just made me happy, because since I was knitting Mom's cardigan, House Elf, Harry Potter, you know, it just makes me happy. And then the other one that goes with it is this one. Man, the colors are off. It's white with like black, pinky purple, and blue speckles. And it's called, and I love this name, Your Mother Was a Hamster. And my battery's about to die. Okay, so quickly, this is for Skies. I'm knitting her a hooded scarf for Christmas, so this is for her. And then All right, so we got free things. Like my mom and me and my aunt all won like the doorbusters. So I got a little Notions pouch that I've been using, and we got this for free. Also, because this is a project, so I was going to show. I got the Notions pouch and the yarn free, and then my mom got dryer balls. Okay, so for the Periscoping Sisters Mother's Day MCal, I got these two. They're from Shirshti Cats. I love them. One's confetti, one's Annie Get Your Gun. You can see more on my Ravelry page, and probably when I have my battery fully charged. But oh, if you don't want to see, look away, look away, look away. MCal. Spoilers. I'm at the end of Clue 2, so it's beginning, and my yarn is actually the ends are actually sewn in, but I just haven't cut them because I want to do that after I block them. Woo. And I love it. All right. So, also last thing is last month's yarn for my Madeline Tosh Bespeckled MCal. This is the yarn I got. It's a light green, but it's not coming up on there. I haven't even worked on that. And so, yeah. This has been CineEmi with Rebel Knitter Podcast, episode 8. Hopefully show notes will be down in the description, links in the description, and head over to the Ravelry page and check it out, our Ravelry group, and subscribe below, and I will see you hopefully next week. Bye!